Hi, it's Cassie Olberg from Sealands Grove, Pennsylvania. I bet you thought I forgot all about doing our YouTube Wednesday. Oh my gosh, it's almost not Wednesday anymore, but I snuck it in here. So I hope you all had a fabulous day. Mine was great. I got to go meet puppies today, 8 cute little puppies. And when I sat down on the floor, they all burrowed onto my lap. So it was super fun. Today we are going to do this really cute quilted border that my good friend Pam Wynn showed me, and she said that I could teach it to all of you. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I am going to layout. There we go. Taking me off solo so we can get the desktop up, and it does not seem to be working. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's talk about this cute border. So there's a couple of things that you can do. As you can see, I quilted the paper together on this one. I used a couple of different designs. And hi, Connie, I'm doing Pam's layout. She said I could. It's super cute. Hi, Don. Okay, so I quilted different papers together with this one, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But I'm going to show you, she did it with a vineyard landscape using grape leaves, and I'm going to do it just a little bit differently using this beautiful piece of paper from Serene Waters. I've had a lot of people ask me, what do I do with this? I want to just do the whole page. Well, I think that this would look fabulous with this quilted design. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this most beautiful part here in the center. So see how the sun is setting into the water. It's so beautiful. So before we get started, I'm going to cut the 4-inch strip out of the center that we need for that. And in order to do that, instead of cutting on one side, I'm going to find my center, and I'm just going to mark on here. The sun's right in the middle. So I'm going to come over, and I'm going to mark it 2 inches over on either side. Get this all the way up to the top so my dots aren't showing. And then that's going to give us this beautiful, beautiful 4-inch strip right out of the center. So we're going to cut that, and then we'll get started on the actual border. And this is what you can do with this quilted design that I'm showing you. You can come in and find the most interesting part of your paper, and then you can make magical things happen with it. So I'm coming in here, and I'm cutting out this 4-inch strip in the center. I'm just checking to make sure. Yep, it's 4 inches. So that's exciting. And this is the part we're going to use for this quilted layout. So now we're going to come in and we're going to cut our base strip at 4 3/8 of an inch. So remember that when you're doing your measurements, that this is a half, and then two little lines right before it is 4 3/8. So that's the base we're going to cut. So this is just a 12 by 4 3/8. Now we're going to come back, and we need this to be cut at 11 1/8 going this way. So now you have to make some decisions. Do you want to take a little bit off the top, a little bit off the bottom? What is going to bring you the most joy when you're doing your layout? So I'm going to take, and first of all, I'm going to cut these little tiny dots off the top. I want to keep most of the orange, but I don't want the dots that I made. Now you couldn't really see them, but you know, since I'm cutting a little bit off, I might as well get rid of that. And then we're going to bring this over to 11 1/8. And I'm going to cut this part off the bottom. So now that's going to give us this beautiful, beautiful part that we have left. Now we need to make 2 rectangles that are the 4 inches wide by 4, and this is going to sound crazy, but 4 5 9/16. But that's kind of a crazy measurement to try to measure. So Pam showed me this. If you just take and you fold your paper in the center, because we need them to be both the same size anyway, and this is going to make it easier to do. You could measure over to that 5 9/16, but since it's such a funky number to measure, if you just fold it in half, let's just get this off the trimmer, and then cut on that fold line, that's going to give you what you need. So we're going to take and we're going to cut. So now we have these two halves, and this is our base layer. Now I'm going to go ahead and keep my base layer over here, and I'm going to cut and put it right onto the base layer because I want to keep it just like this, but quilted. Okay? So we're going to start at the bottom of the first piece. So this is the bottom to cut from the bottom 1 1/4. And we're cutting 1 1/4 off the bottom. Okay? So now we're going to take and we're going to cut 1 1/4 off of the right side. So this is my right, 1 1/4 off of here. And we're just going to put them over here so that we know where they belong. And then here's the rest of it. And see, that lines up right there. And now we're going to cut 1 1/4 off the left side. So here we are working to the right. Now we're going to cut 1 1/4 off the left side. So that's going to come off. And then we're going to take that strip and we're going to cut 1 1/4 off the top. And again, we're just going to bring it over here so that we don't lose track of where it belongs. That's the only reason we're taking it over there. And then for the last thing that we're going to do, we're going to cut a 1 1/4 off the bottom. So let's make sure I did that right. Yep, 1 1/4 off the bottom. And then that's going to come over and it's going to go right here like this. Now we'll line it up a little bit better whenever we go to do the taping down, but that's the top of it. And then we're really just going to do the exact same thing with the other half. So I could have stacked them and done it, but I'm not really good at stacking and cutting. I tend to get crooked whenever I try to stack and cut. So we're going to start at the bottom and cut 1 1/4 off. Then we're going to cut 1 1/4 off the right side of the bottom. And we're just going to bring those right over here so we don't mix them up. Then we're going to cut 1 1/4 off the left side, just like we did before. And then we're going to take and cut 1 1/4 off the top. And we're going to put that over here. And then we're going to take this last little piece and we're going to cut 1 1/4 off the bottom. Okay. Now wait until you see how pretty this turns out. And then we're going to talk about how to do it with multiple pieces of paper now that you know the technique. So you're just going to come on and you're going to make it so that they all have 1/8 of an inch around each side. And you're going to tape them down and give it that beautiful quilted look. And then I'm just going to show you this so that it makes a little bit more sense in case it didn't make sense to anybody. But what I did was I took 2 different sheets of paper and I made the rectangles from 2 different sheets of paper. And then I laid them all out and I just flip-flopped them around because like these 2 are the same size, these 2 are the same size. So you take all your same size pieces and you can flop them around and end up with a quilt. And you could do that with more than just 2 sheets of paper and flip them over. You could do that with, take 3 sheets of paper and add it in. So for instance, I might have taken this and flipped it this way, but that's not the look I'm going for. This is what you do with an absolutely stunning piece of paper that you want to use on your page, but you don't really want to cover it up, but you really want to use it and do something fun with it. So I'm hoping that you guys are thinking to yourselves, oh my gosh, I have that favorite sheet of paper that's been stashed away for 4 years and I'm going to pull it out and do this with it. That's the paper that this is going to look beautiful with, because look how the sun is coming back together with this quilted look. I just think this is so beautiful and it'd be so fun on your beach page, especially if you had pictures of the sun. That'd be absolutely stunning. And you could also do this with scraps, because once you do it the first time, you can just take all of your measurements and you can cut it out of scrap paper if you're not trying to line up a seam like I just did. So if you're just trying to do a quilt like this one, it could be from scrap paper and that would look fabulous too. So I did this with repositionable tape, and it's because I'm not stupid. This isn't my first rodeo. And I know for a fact that I am not the type of person that can stick them down and have it perfect the first time around. And I'm probably not even going to have it perfect the last time around, because I'm kind of a impatient, fast scrapbooker. But I know I'm going to be able to play around and get it right if I just go ahead and use my repositionable tape. So I hope you had fun. Oh, one other thing I wanted to remind you, you can put a cute little saying or pop something up with foam squares on the border, and that's really cute. So just some fun little things that you can add into it and play around with it. I hope you had fun, and thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for saying hi. It's always great whenever I see that people are watching. That makes me really happy. So thanks so much, and have a fabulous evening.